I'm here today with Phil McTaggart, football agent extraordinaire. We're here on Ultimate Soccer TV in the fabulous Soccer World facilities. Play Fives, get fit. Phil,
how you doing?
You became one of the youngest agents ever, I believe. How did you become an agent? How did that come about?
Well, it was when I left school at 16. I left school and I started working with Scottish Amicable in the town. And after about 8 months, I got paid off. And I felt like a millionaire after having something like 1 month's salary redundancy. And they put me into another job, and the other job was with Barclays Stockbrokers. And I lasted for about, I don't know, another 6 or 7 months in that, and I just wasn't ticking my box. It wasn't really happening. So the money that I got for the redundancy from my first job, I actually went to Tenerife. And while I was in Tenerife, I got the opportunity through a family member to start work in the football business, and that was to start in 1999. I was 19 years old, and basically started as an apprentice, working in the office and doing all the kind of usual dog's body stuff and administrative stuff, whilst John was off away doing the business and the deals with the players. I managed to build up relationships with certain people and kind of be that go-to person. I think that's kind of my nature. And then from there, as I said, once I was in that kind of football fraternity, just decided that I wanted to be my own kind of agent and get my own players and do different things. So at the time, you had to do an examination with the SFA at the time. You don't actually do that anymore. That got scrapped in 2015, but at the time there was twice a year you had to go and do an examination. And I went to sit the exam in April, I think it was, and I failed it, and I was absolutely gutted because I'd built this big picture up about being an agent, and being an agent you were going to be successful, this and that, players. And when I failed it, I was devastated. I thought my world was ending, because you then couldn't get the opportunity to do it again for another 6 months. So what it did teach me, but is it taught me that I had to take it a wee bit more serious. And for that 6 months up to that, I did all the studying of the FIFA statutes. I did all the studying of the SFA regulations and stuff that you had to learn to pass, which I did in the September time of 2002. Did the examination again, passed it, and ultimately that's when I got my own personal licence.
Who was your first ever client?
Somebody asked me this already actually, and honestly over my career there's millions of players you worked with, but this is obviously you don't forget your first client. And the first client at the time, because as a company we'd been dealing with a lot of the players for the Rangers in the first team, there was a few boys for the Rangers reserves who were getting released, and I started working with a young lad called Jimmy Gibson. Jimmy was smaller than me, played centre midfield, but he was a great player, talented midfielder, but just like anything, it was hard to break into Rangers first team. And I signed Jimmy up, and ultimately the story went, he was playing a reserve game up at Broadwood. I'd been watching the game, obviously as you do, you go and see your clients, see how they're getting on. And Alan Kernigan, who was the manager at Clyde at the time, I remember trying to build up this approach about how to speak to people. And I remember Big Kearney actually went into the toilet at Broadwood. And I don't know why, but I thought, this is my chance, I'm going to go and corner him here. So went into the toilet, I was standing doing a pee beside Big Kearney, and I was like, Alan, you're looking for a midfielder? And he's like, aye, how have you got? And I said, I've got Jimmy Gibson for Rangers, obviously just played. And he says, you know what, I quite fancy that, why don't we get him in to have a look at him? So for that conversation in the toilet doing a pee, actually led to Jimmy going and doing a couple of days, and the rest was history. He signed with Clyde. That was my first actual bit of business. I don't think there was even any money in it, to be honest, but the fact to get your first deal and your first client over the line was different class.
People obviously have a picture of what an agent's life looks like and how their work life looks like, because you see the huge figures quoted in the papers, especially when it comes to the English Premiership.
Yep.
What's the reality of, one, the money as an agent and how much money you can make off that as a career, and two, the kind of day-to-day life of an agent?
Yep. No, there's no denying that. I mean, if you're working at the highest level in football, the English Premier League or La Liga or the Bundesliga, where guys are getting 50, 60, 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand a week, which some of the players are, I mean, it's astronomical. It's an entertainment business, and these guys are getting paid to entertain the world. And if you're working at that level, as a kind of rule of thumb, I mean, agents would be getting paid like 5% of a player's salary. So if a guy's earning 100 grand a week, then that's £5 million a year. Ultimately, he's earning 10% of that's 500 grand, and at 5% is 250 grand a year just for a 1 year kind of salary. So if you start adding it up, if you've got a couple of clients at that level, obviously it can be very, very lucrative. But on the turn side of that as well, you've got guys who, most agents work at all different levels, because they might be working with a bit of cream, but they'll have young players coming through who might be on a couple of £100 a week or £500 a week or whatever. So it's kind of relevant to where guys are playing. And obviously that's the on-field side of it, where the guys train and they play, but the off-field part is probably really just as important, to be honest, because you need to make sure you're looking after them, you need to make sure that you're taking care of the support that they need, and that's a full-time job for some guys. You know, they need a lot of time to do with the media, they need a lot of time to do with additional training or just support with their lifestyle, you know, like helping them with their finances, helping them with their home, their find their relocation, or even their holidays. There's so many things that agents do that people actually don't see, or they don't understand what they get involved in.
Obviously, as well as the money, we have this idea of you as an agent having a kind of jet set lifestyle. Has it allowed you to travel? Where have you been? Who have you met?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, every day I generally pinch myself, because I have been all over the world with the agency business. I've been very, 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 very fortunate. Like anything, there's agents out there who probably haven't been in that situation, but been involved in this for almost over 20 years now. I've been at every corner of the world with football. I think the only place I've actually not been to as far as has been actually Australia. I've not been as far as there, but been in Asia, been in Africa, been in America, been in South America, obviously all across Europe. So very, very fortunate with that to do. It's a job at the end of the day, but when you're travelling, brilliant. When it's involving football, brilliant. And obviously when you're making money, even better, you know. So very, very fortunate with that. And even with that, it adds other things into it as well, because even the whole South American thing, I was always really into it when I was younger, for the footballing perspective, whether it was Argentinians or Brazilians or whatever it might be, and even getting a chance to brought a player from South America to the English Premier League a few years ago, and it led me on to learning how to speak Spanish and different things as well, because it's been helpful from a business perspective. But even that whole concept, even starting to learn Spanish, was because at the time when I was doing that deal, didn't know anything about Spanish, but doing it on Google Translate. And when I say back then, I mean that must have been about 10 years ago or something. Like, Google Translate isn't like the way it is now, and I was typing in something into the computer and it was coming to the guy at the other end and it was saying one thing when really what you were trying to put across, it was getting all mumbo jumbo. Obviously still managed to get the deal over the line and everybody walked away happy, but it just made me get to that point I need to do something about this. And since then, the business and the people that I've spoken to and developed business with for having that language skill has been different class.
Who's been your biggest client, and what's the biggest deal that you've been involved in?
Again, if you go way back, I mean, even John, working with John on bringing Christian Carambo at the time to Middlesbrough, when he was a World Cup winner, a Euro winner. He was basically Real Madrid. To come to a club like Middlesbrough at the time was like a massive coup for Steve Gibson, and to be part of that with John was an unbelievable experience, and Christian was fantastic. Christian was a brilliant guy, and even his wife at the time, she was a supermodel. She was one of the Wonder Bra models at the time, and there was more publicity about her than what there was about Christian coming. It was so funny, but at that kind of size at that time, it was gigantor. But even on a personal note, working with even like someone like Barry Ferguson at the time, coming through the ranks at Rangers, the kind of golden boy at the club, and going on to be a captain for his country and captain in Rangers in the UEFA Cup and different things in Manchester. It was brilliant to be part of that, brilliant to be a part of seeing somebody who's came through, achieved dreams at all sorts of levels, and be part of that journey with someone, you know. So Barry was a personal one, he was a friend, a family friend and different stuff, which is great. But out with that, there's been loads of international players all over the world that you've been part of, because it's not just that you physically need to represent an individual. Like, agents get involved where I might have a club for a player, but I don't know the player, but yet I've opened the door for the club, and the club have signed him, and his agents walked in and done a deal, and I've been paid for opening that door, but yet he's not my player. So there's been loads of international players, and I'm generally, I don't want to just sit and rhyme off names, but it's been at the top end.
Who's made a lasting impression with you?
I suppose lasting impression has been brilliant, great people. I mean, even at the time, I'll never forget David Murray at the time when the chairman of Rangers was amazing with me. If you put yourself in my shoes at the time, I was a young lad trying to get into this glamorous world of football, and to be taken seriously at a young age at the high end was really difficult, because people were knocking me back for fun. They were wanting to take my phone calls, whether I had the association behind me with someone experienced as John. I was still doing it myself, and when I was picking the phone up to people, a lot of people were ignoring me. But I always remember being at Ibrox one night, and David Murray just walked by a room full of people, and he came right up to me, and he was like, "I heard you're the youngest agent in the world now." And I was like, "Where'd that come from?" You know, and he put time aside, and it made me feel empowered. And not then going forward after that, it was just a good relationship with him. But outside of that, I mean, even players-wise, and I got the chance to play with Paul Gascoigne back in, we had an Old Firms Legends game in Dubai, and getting to even play with somebody like Gaz at the time was amazing. He was great with everybody that was there, and his partner was brilliant, and even with the fans, it was something like 4,000 fans at the game, and it was just, the whole experience, being part of that, just was outstanding.
Paul Gascoigne's obviously a huge idol to so many people, but very famously struggled with his mental health. Has the attitudes within football changed towards mental health, and how does an agent, are they involved in that side as well? You responsible? Do you feel responsible for your clients' mental health?
100%. Obviously, the guys, especially now, probably over the past 2-3 years, mental health in general across the board's been a massive play for it. People are more and more aware of it. There's still certain stigmas around about it, and the awareness is getting out there. Awareness, and more people are more confident to talk about it. But there's still too many people that don't talk about it. So that's why we need to keep re-emphasising it. And I think it's good to see the players, even like Chris Boyd, people like Chris Boyd coming out with his own charity and different things, and how they're trying to get the awareness out at the right level with people. There's loads of charities and stuff out there, but as an individual looking after your client, there's always telltale signs you can see in people. And myself suffering from poor mental health in the past, I know what it feels like, and I've battled my own stuff to do with that. And when you've been through that, you naturally want to help other people get over it as well. So although it's something you're probably going to need to live with all your kind of days, it's knowing that the support there, it's knowing how to deal with certain triggers and different stuff. And as an agent, looking at your clientele, normally there's kind of signs that you can pick up on, and that's definitely something I'm quite big on, you know.
You touched on your own mental health. What have you found that's benefited you? I know you come down and do the sports lab, the Ultimate Soccer Sports Lab. What kind of difference has that made to you? Has that been a help?
Aye, 100%. I mean, the guys up at Ultimate Soccer, I'm not saying they've changed my life. It's like it's as dramatic as that, where from a mindset point of view, I used to come up to, or still do come up to Soccer World to play 5 on a Monday and a Thursday. And I always remember seeing a setup before we started, and I thought that looks brilliant in there, but not having the confidence to do it. And like that situation we've talked about the mental health side of things, my whole life kind of blew up a few years ago, and I had to take time out of my current situation. I had to take a wee step back. I mean, I took that step back to get a wee bit of clarity on the people in my life and what was going on about me. Somewhere inside me just took that wee, I need to try this, and I went and started up at the sports lab, and I was like, I think I was 3 stone heavier than what I was now. Slow as anything, doing all the drills and different stuff, but the actual journey that it put me on to self-discovery myself from a fitness point of view, a dietary point of view, even from a footballing point of view, to do with coaching points, to do with scouting players when you're out talking to people. There's so many things it's actually taught me, and to work with the guys hand in hand like that has been fantastic for me overall in the past 2 years.
From the Ultimate Soccer's point of view, there's a huge difference. You're absolutely right. The way you look, your mental health is visibly better for spending time with us. Would you obviously have brought players in, so you do recommend it. How important do you think that is for players to have that one-to-one experience when you come into somewhere like the sports lab and
again
develop?
Speak to, if you look at the current climate in Scotland just now, for example, loads of young boys getting released. There's players in general maybe unsure where to go. Different when the guys are training 4 or 5 times a week playing a game. Alright, they might not be needing additional training, but they might just want to work specifically on something individually, and it might be, I don't know, it could be anything. They might just want that additional one-to-one service, which the guys obviously provide, and I've got a fantastic way to do that. But in Scotland, I mean, there's a lot of part-time clubs in Scotland. The guys are training twice a week and then playing a game. Why would you not come and use a facility like this and turn yourself into a full-time trainer, training an additional twice a week, get your fitness up, get your sharpness up, and make your overall performance at the weekend that much better? I understand that people have different situations if they're working, I understand all that, but if there's a facility there, and I always go back to, if I knew about a facility like this when I was younger, I know that it would have made me a player, but I would have been playing my 5s and I would have been doing this in between time as well, because it's brilliant. It's hard work, but it's brilliant, and something, as you said, I've recommended to clients, I've recommended to other agents' clients, I've recommended to friends, family, and anybody that's come up has had nothing but good things to say.
You've obviously been an agent for the majority of your life, your working life anyway. You took a wee bit of time out and you came back. You've started something slightly different. Your main business is obviously being an agent and after players, but you're looking to help people get into that industry. Yeah. How did that come about? How does that take shape?
Brilliant. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it's again as a natural, as a type of person that I'm are, but over my career working in football agency, the amount of people that I've helped or supported or put into a situation where just by advice, because I've done it for that long, ultimately I was always in a good place to advise people who wanted to be agents. And the amount of times you get asked the question, how do I become a football agent? Or how did you become a football agent? It just became a bit, I was saying the same things all the time, and it was genuine because I was genuinely happy to help people. And even agents that are out in the field just now, successful agents who are working at the top end, having worked with these guys in the past and been able to share things with them and put certain points, I love it. I love seeing these guys being a success. But what happened in 2015, FIFA changed the rules where you didn't have to do an examination like I did. Even further before me, you had to pay £100,000 to become an agent, which made it so unique. You know what I mean? There was not many people could do that. That's something that John did that. Then with me it was examination. Then they scrapped the examination and everything in 2015, and it became an open field. So there was guys registering, paying, I think it's £500 plus VAT to the English FA to become an agent, but yet they don't know the job, they didn't know what they were doing, they didn't know the attributes that you had to do, or they didn't have any experience. So it was a natural kind of thing for us to create a concept where we brought something online. We designed a course that answered a lot of questions. We designed a course that basically describes the job, what's involved in it, the do's, the don'ts, pointers, and really it just grew arms and legs. Because it's online for a start, there's people all over the world doing it. It's led into live events, it's led into webinars, and while the regulations are still open for that, it's a unique way for people or agents or people even. You might have a young boy, for example, you might have a kid that's a decent player, and as a father or as a parent or as a mother or whatever, or as a friend, you might just want to know more about the business. Do you know what I mean? To go, that's going to advise me, you know, and our course does that. There's 16 modules in it, and so in depth. I mean, the value of money for what it costs to understand the business is a great personal investment for people, because it ultimately puts them miles ahead of where they would be than if they did just walked in off the bat. Do you know what I mean? So it's been well respected. There's been some fantastic testimonials. It's worked for so many different people. And the way that John and I looked at it was that these guys are going to be doing the job anyway. So why not try and help educate new agents, or even agents who paid the money to the English FA, didn't know what to do, give them a wee bit element more of credibility to help them on their way, to be a kind of more ethical agent rather than a kind of stigmatic way that people say that they're A, B, C and D, you know. So we've created this unique course, and it's been a roaring success thus far, and as long as the regulations stay the way they are, I'm sure it will grow from strength to strength, so much so that it's been taken on as a Masters now and as an MBA with a university in Rome, which is the first of its kind in the world. So went from being the youngest agent in the world to now having the first Masters and first MBA in football intermediary or football agency, which is another great accolade.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What's next for Phil McTaggart?
What's next? Well,
world domination.
Still looking for a good lady in my life. Do you know what I mean? I think if I got a good lady, then that would set a few things alight, because between getting myself physically fit, getting myself mentally fit, having the business side of things going well on and off the field, the education part of the business, good people around about me, about me, good support around about me. I think probably the only thing actually missing is a potential partner, but I'm enjoying life that much now that, to be fair, I don't know if I could squeeze them in.
It sounds like you've got so much on. Scottish football just now is obviously going through quite a bit of turmoil and things. There'll be less money in Scottish football by the looks of it, even with the Big Sky doing things. Young players will get more of a chance. Have you got clients coming through that you think you could be the next?
Definitely.
Superstar?
I mean, the amount of people looking for advice now has went up tenfold, because parents or kids are getting released left, right and centre. They thought they were getting a deal, they're not getting a deal anymore. So there is still fantastic talent there that's not going to get the chance, but with the right representation, some of the talent we're working with, of course, they might even get more fast track now, the fact that they're going to get the chance to develop quicker. so-called reserve leagues or reserve teams not going to be happening. Players at a younger age might get pushed on. Squads will be reduced, budgets will be reduced. So these guys will be in a position to get a wee bit of experience that they wouldn't have got in the past. And players need to play, you know what I mean? Players need that opportunity to play, especially getting to play against a higher level or a so-called man as such is going to help people develop quicker. Yeah, you need to protect them, but sometimes you need to let them off the leash as well to go and test themselves and see how they can handle it. And I can definitely see, especially in Scotland, a lot of good talent coming through in the next couple of years because of this unfortunate situation that we've got just now.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely more opportunities for Scottish players in the horizon. Hopefully a World Cup or a Euro qualification for us soon. Growing up, who was your heroes? Who was your football heroes?
Growing up, I think at the time, growing up was a kind of natural thing. I loved Alan McCoist. Alan McCoist was a legend. Mo Johnston as well. Mo Johnston was. I remember being at school and going to Hampden and that as well, and watching Scotland play against like clubs, countries like Cyprus and that to get through to the World Cup and things. And Mo Johnston, I just thought he was a legend. He scored an overhead kick one night at Hampden in the rain, and for me it was just like an absolute hero. Just it was amazing to see that. And I actually got to go to the World Cup in Italy in 1990 with my family. There was about 20 of us went there, and what an amazing experience that was. And I think I was only 12 or something at the time, but to go and see Scotland at a World Cup at that age was different class, you know. So always been involved in football, that passion for football, you know. So I think at that time, as I say, the kind of guys that were for me, you know. I can't miss out Roberto Carlos. Obviously been involved with Roberto Carlos in the past as well, and trips to Brazil to meet him and different stuff, and have to get him in there. I can't forget about him. And
what was he like as to meet? What was he like?
To be honest, himself and obviously his team at the time, the women actually had looking after him at the time were fantastic. So much so that actually gave us a loan. I say a loan. We were allowed to use his helicopter that time when we were in Brazil, which was another unbelievable experience to go to Brazil and watch football, be involved with players like Carlos, Kaká, Robinho in these stadiums. And by the way, the Santos Stadium where Robinho was playing was actually called the Charlie Miller Stadium. Charlie Miller being obviously a past client of ours and obviously a wonder kid at Rangers for Castlemilk, as we all know.
Presumably the stadium wasn't named after...
I don't think it was named after Charlie, but it was...
Huge fans of him over there.
But I think that there's a Charlie Miller who was I don't know if he was like I don't know the actual word, it was like some sort of explorer or something. I don't know where it came from, but it's called the Charlie Miller Stadium.
He was a phenomenal player for Rangers. Never quite hit the heights that
I know.
Expected.
Again, one of these young boys coming through in such a magnificent team as well at the time. Managed to achieve his dream of playing and winning championships and different stuff, but again never went on to what he could have fulfilled, although he still had a good career in the game and down in England and abroad, Australia, Norway, different places. And he got one cap for Scotland, I think, as well. So well, I see, to be honest, there's even again people like name dropping, but even being involved with
definitely name drop.
No, I don't like that. It's not my type.
It's not the reason we've got you here, Phil.
Even names. People like Figo, you know what I mean? Figo is a former Ballon d'Or winner and all that kind of stuff. And gave me a few tips as well about chatting Spanish to ladies.
Is he a ladies? But he looks like a lady.
No, he's not. I don't know if he is, but I asked him for a couple of tips and he gave me a couple of words to use in Spanish. So I know he's Portuguese, but obviously natural speaking Spanish. But he gave us a couple of tips.
How did you meet Figo? How did that come about?
Again, just through different connections, through his agent, and then actually a commercial business that he was involved in as well. Done some work with him out in Dubai, some commercial stuff, and again, an astute businessman, not just a wonderful football player, but an astute businessman as well, you know. So
What was he doing? What is his business?
well, to be fair, he's into loads of different things. It was an appearance-based thing that he was doing, and you see him going and playing a lot of these galactical things from the past, you know what I mean? But it was an actual business he was involved in, and as I say, it was a time we'd spent out in Dubai with him, which was interesting. I mentioned him earlier, but even Barry was outstanding, do you know what I mean? Barry Ferguson was an amazing player. I loved seeing him from a young age playing and bossing games in Europe, and even for an international stage. He didn't get to the Hall of Fame. He should have got to the Hall of Fame from an international point of view, but just circumstantial. But from a club perspective, seeing him play with Rangers, seeing him play with Birmingham, and seeing him play down south was different class.
What do you think about his time down south?
I thought he done well. I mean, he won the Carling Cup with Birmingham, obviously, and as soon as he got down to Blackburn, he was a captain with Blackburn very quickly because he had that type. As soon as signing him, Mark Hughes coming in too. I mean, Souness and Mark Hughes as characters in the game at the time. Do you know what I mean? And Barry being Barry was a brilliant player.
Yeah, he was a brilliant player. One of the most, I think, most talented Scottish player I've seen in my kind of lifetime.
Mona, major Mona. I didn't play with him. I just got moaned at half him, like in general. Do you know what I mean? But
I like that as a captain. I think you need that as a captain, and you don't see that.
No, he was a great player.
He obviously wasn't without his controversies. Scotland never really worked out for him, and there's obviously the famous photograph of him. What's your take on that?
I think Barry knows himself. Obviously, at the time that was a mistake, and he felt the wrath of it for Walter Smith in particular. Do you know what I mean? And he knew quite quickly he'd made a mistake, and once it's done, it's done. Do you know what I mean? But maybe that's where it put me on my track to my fitness regime, because I remember when he was suspended, we had to go and do a run around Stratford Park with him, doing fartlek runs and that different stuff for him, which was brutal. I mean, I'm trying to keep up with him, this wee dumpy guy, trying to keep up with him, you know, it wasn't easy, but that's the kind of thing where as a support mechanism, when there's somebody down as a player, when they're down, they need people around about them, they've got their family and friends, but to go and try and be a bit of support on that side as well, do things that you're not comfortable with ultimately, but just to be there, that was important.
Obviously flicking all over the place here, but you mentioned a managerial great there in Walter Smith, proper old school. Yep. Did you have many dealings with him?
Walter, I mean, at the time when he was at Rangers, obviously spoke to him, dealt with him, met him. Obviously a very nice man, very
not to be messed with, though.
Of course. I mean, I never dealt with him for that side where the players would feel it, but any time I met him, he was very respectable and always very welcoming and different stuff, you know. So,
absolutely. The Ultimate Soccer team's done some work with Archie Knox.
All right.
As well.
Right.
Who was a great character. Did you meet Archie as well?
Obviously, when the guys did the stuff down at Largs a couple of years ago, Archie was brilliant. I mean, seeing him first hand on the coaching park and seeing him work with like George and Jamie and the guys, he was excellent. His stories and his experience in the game and was as second to none. Do you know what I mean? But for him to even pass on any wee trinket to the lads for Ultimate Soccer, for George or Jamie, I'm sure they picked up bits from a coaching perspective.
Absolutely, proper old school legend. From an agent's point of view, when you look at Steven Gerrard's career, stayed at Liverpool for the majority of it, and then obviously had a wee trip to the US.
Yep.
As an agent, would you have been pushing for him to go and maybe push himself? How involved are you as an agent in thinking the time that club's up, you can grow and become a bigger player elsewhere?
I think it comes down to the individual. It's not really the player. You always go wherever it's your clients first and foremost. You go where it's what they want. You're just there to support their needs ultimately. If he turned around and said, I've done my bit at Liverpool, I want to go elsewhere, or whatever it might have been, then I'm pretty sure that would have been the opportunity would have came up. Whereas he's seen his career as a Liverpudlian, as a scouser at Liverpool, where he didn't go and play for anybody else in the Premier League, that he's waited, went to America as a different option and then finished. And there's been loads of players from a past perspective who have been very, very loyal to certain clubs that don't want to go and play with another team through loyalty or whatever it might be. But he played at the highest end in football, won the highest honours, amount of caps he got for England. I mean, what a career he had as a player. So you can't.
Phenomenal player.
Do you know what I mean? He won what you had to win if he went somewhere else, you know. So
I think he won 2 Champions Leagues. I think he won 2.
I mean, it's just like.
Phenomenal.
I started as a young guy, as a young coach, to come and then go to get the opportunity to work with a club the size of Rangers. Again, a brilliant opportunity for him.
Thank you very much, Phil McTaggart. Phil, how can we follow you? How can we see what's happening with Phil McTaggart's life?
I've only got 2 social medias. I've got my Instagram and my LinkedIn.
What's your Instagram?
Instagram at Phil McTaggart.
Make sure you've subscribed to Ultimate Soccer TV and go and give Phil McTaggart a wee follow as well. Very interesting.
Thank you very much for your
career
time.
still going on. Thank you very much, Phil.
Cheers.